That's right. We're taking money from it. Yeah. The mines.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's today's.
Well, there, he was just saying they were rescheduling.
That's what they do, gotta make.
So I talked to
Jason. No, that's what I think.
look at later.
You can come save service.
And when you do get up to the microphone, just make sure you identify yourself, and then when you introduce the
We'll figure it out.
Yeah, come on.
just for the audience, just for our viewers,
Pressure on you.
just for the 2 people that watch us.
I'm
Just kidding.
I do watch you. Not every time, but I do watch you.
Well, I'll tell you what, let's get this, let's get the show on the road here. We got a retirement board meeting after this, and we certainly don't
Yes.
want to hold that up as much as I know all of us are enthused by stop reports.
You are, admit it.
I do like them.
Yes.
I do like them. I just, I like the lunch afterwards is my favorite part. But I will call this November 15th, 2022 meeting of the Lawrence County Board of Commissioners to order. Would all please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a brief moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All please remain standing for a brief moment of silence. Thank you. I was going to call on Dan to say the pledge, but then I realized we would have created some confusion. I remember it.
Oh, no, somebody cleaned up over here, there are no pens.
I don't have any.
That's all right.
Loretta.
That's okay.
I got one there back there, maybe?
HR, give them 10.
I have some extra.
Oh, Vanessa has one, thank you. Oh, I apologize for disrupting. Thank you.
You're all probation.
Keep things
Are you
informal.
right now?
Go ahead.
All right, Vanessa, please call the roll.
Commissioner Spielvogel?
Here,
Commissioner Vogler?
Here.
Commissioner Boyd?
Here, we have a quorum. I will note that we are being live streamed right now. It's being broadcast out to our YouTube channel for public consumption. We're also being recorded internally here for our purposes of compiling the minutes. To that end, I'd ask anyone that has any business before the board if you'd be able to approach that microphone, speak clearly into it, so we'll be able to pick that up on our end. We're officer reports and comments. I'm looking out at the audience today. I'm not seeing any row officers or representatives thereof. Public comments. Before we jump into this, I will ask that if you have any public comment to provide to the board today, that it be mundane to business that may come before the Lawrence County Board of Commissioners. To that end, if you have any issue regarding a state road, for example, I'd ask you to contact your state representative or state senator or PennDOT if you're feeling bold. If you have any issue relating to a police department or fire department, we ask that you contact your local municipality, whether that be your township supervisors, whether that be a borough council member, a city council member, or if you have any federal issues, for example, if you have a bitch about the military, that's not us. That was not us. But otherwise, county business that may come before the Board of Commissioners is, of course, more than welcome. So that being said, I'll take any public comments at this time. Anybody has it? Dan?
Yes.
Come on up, approach the bench. It's up a little closer than we're used to this time, but that's all right. How you doing
Can I
today?
stand? Good.
Absolutely, you can stand.
How are you?
Oh, we're doing well, thank you.
Thank you for allowing us to be here. My name's Dan Bailey. I'm Vice President of Vision Ministries, and I have my 2 colleagues here. This is Randy Crum, who is the President of Vision Ministries, and my colleague, also Vice President, Vaughn Creasy. And basically what we're here is actually to ask a couple questions.
Sure.
I think it was back in August, the process for distributing the opioid settlement money was publicized in the paper. We just basically have a question: where are we in that particular process, and what's the timeline? Where is it going? If you can tell us.
Sure. So we've received the money from the opioid settlement. Well, the first tranche of the money. We haven't received the full package. It's in county bank accounts right now. None of it's been utilized. We haven't distributed any of it yet. I believe Loretta, as the commissioner representative to the advisory board we created, is working on pulling together the first meeting of that advisory board. At which point, any requests, any ideas, if you want to go before that board, you're certainly more than welcome to. The goal of that is to get as much public input as possible before we start making those distributions. But I know, Lorraine, I don't know if you have anything else you want to add.
Just a little clarification. I believe at that time when we did have the meeting, we were given information, preliminary information that we would receive. We were receiving $6.4 million over the course of 18 years. We were given an indication that the largest amounts of the monies would be given to us as the county the first couple of years to be able to utilize it as we needed to. We were thinking of getting $1 million or so in the first year. Unfortunately, that formula has changed, so we are rethinking some of the things. We had a meeting before inviting a lot of the different area agencies, our own departments in to see just what a wish list would be for people that wanted to participate and wanted to come to us for monies. Now we have to rethink that because instead of getting $1.5 million this first year, I believe we got a little bit less than $500,000 that we have to try to distribute and really formulate a plan so that we do the best that we can do with that money because it's a one-time thing. And we want to make sure we do the preventive work, I say the reactive work, just get everybody involved to make sure that we do spend it correctly.
Thank you.
But yes.
I'm sorry, is there a time, we have an application all ready to go.
I'm sure.
And I'm just wondering if there's a timeline, would there be a notification of when to submit those
The meetings have to
applications?
be public. There'll be a public notice put in the newspaper when the meeting is going to be, and they're open to the public. So you will have all the information that you need as far as when to submit, when the meetings are, offering public comment on how you think they should be spent. All that'll be available.
The other thing I'll note is that board that we created is advisory in nature.
Yes.
Yes.
Final decision does let the rest of the board of commissioners, but we created that board specifically. I'm not a human services.
Subject matter expert.
Exactly.
Yes,
Okay.
correct.
So as far as I'm concerned, and I'm one vote in terms of dispersing county dollars. I'll be leaning heavily on what that advisory board says. And I think by and large, we're gonna front those requests through that advisory board to then come before the board. When we're going to sign purchase orders and stuff like that.
Understood, thank you. Lon, Randy, do you have any additional?
We're good.
My friends,
Well, thank you for allowing us that.
Well, let me add,
is that it?
are you done?
I'm done, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Let me add that this coming weekend, two of us,
Yes.
Commissioner Spielvogel and I, will be attending the fall conference of the County Commissioners Association of Pennsylvania. It's being held down in Dauphin County. And as you would imagine, this issue affects every county in the
Yes.
Commonwealth, all
Matter of fact, I
67.
have contacts in Butler County, and I think today they're going through their applications.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we have Sunday afternoons set aside. There are a number of breakout sessions to discuss this matter.
Right.
So we'll probably learn even more
Yes.
this coming Sunday at the conference.
Well, that'll be great. As you know, things are getting tough out there, and that's why we worry, because we're just losing so many people.
Right.
And anything that we can do to help prevent that, that's what we're here for. So
Absolutely.
thank you very much for the information, for letting us speak.
Okay,
Good to see you all.
absolutely.
Thank you.
Always a pleasure, yes.
I'll be coming down too. I just won't. I'll be there a little bit late.
Oh, you're attending?
I am
Oh,
gonna attend,
good.
yeah.
Okay.
It's gonna fly in.
Well, I thought about that, but my issue is I have to go down to Atlanta on Friday, Saturday. So Dan and Loretta, you guys gonna drive out? You guys driving out Saturday?
Saturday.
So I'm touching down probably really early Sunday morning. So I have to make a decision that you drive through the night and just be miserable for a couple hours on Sunday morning, or you go back home, sleep, and then make the drive. So I'm weighing that right now.
And Butler, of course, has an edge. I say it's an edge, but our friend, one of the county commissioners, Kevin Booth, was actually on the advisory committee for the state. So in all honesty, we're waiting to see pretty much what happens on Sunday to get that information to know the best way to spend that money, because it's a one-time lift for us to be able to have that. And we do want to make sure that what we use it for has a long-lasting effect on our communities.
I would like to say something.
Sure.
We've been doing this for quite a while, and we've learned a lot of things. And what I have on my mind is that we do a lot of treatment, which is good, and we need that. but we have to do better. We have to inform, we have to educate. And that's what we're doing. We've gotten into schools. We go to Mohawk tomorrow, Neshannock Thursday, December 6th to Wilmington. We've been in Laurel, we've been in Shenango, we're meeting in Elwood next week. So we have to get to the younger generation because they're very uneducated. And they're very, they just, follow everybody else and
Right.
pressure, peer pressure and all that. So we're convinced that we have to educate. That is to the next generation, we have to educate and treat at the same time, but education is very important. And that's where we lie. That's where we're at.
Absolutely.
And we're very,
May I add to that just a little bit? On the prevention education side of it, we have done some research and found out that, and this comes from NIDA and SAMHSA, that for every dollar you spend in the schools on a preventive education side, saves anywhere from $4 to $18 on the treatment side. And we have also learned that 73%, and this is a national study, of the students are not aware of the fentanyl crisis, which is just, it's evolving. Just within the last few months now, we have rainbow fentanyl, which is designed to attract young folks. It's made to look just like candy. So that's why we feel it's so important to get into the youth. They are the decision makers. They are the ones that will make a decision whether to partake, experiment, or not. The danger now, like when I was growing up, if you took something or drank something, maybe you risk of becoming addicted. But with this, it's not even a chance of that. It's one time, and you might not wake up tomorrow. So that's why we feel it's such an urgent thing to do. And so we will continue to get in the schools, and the ones we get into, we will offer them what's called a follow-up kit. And the follow-up kit is designed for the schools. It teaches the teachers how to present the information. And so that's how you keep it alive. A one and done assembly fades away. So you've got to keep the continuous education. So thanks again for Ron, anything?
I just add that being a parent that lost a son to drugs, we do what we do because I don't want to see any more parents in our county, in our city, in our country to have to feel this pain and live with this pain. It's imperative that we get to our children, that we get to our grandchildren. Kids are our future. And I don't want to see any more kids be a number, be a statistic. We just ask for your help in expediting this as fast as you can, because the longer we sit, every day we lose somebody. We're losing 150 to 200 people a day easily just to fentanyl. And it doesn't include just the overdoses. So this is something very personal to me. It's very personal to these gentlemen also. We do this at our own cost. For the last 7 years, we've done this. We've fundraised, we've done everything. Whether we are blessed with a grant or not, we will continue to do this. We will continue to fight this fight because we know how important this is to our community. This is the number one problem in our community today. There is nothing else causing more deaths in our community than what this is causing. This is something that needs immediate action. This is something that needs a continued action. This isn't something we can go in just one time, do an assembly in a school and talk to these kids. We want to set our programs. We want to work with our community. It takes all of us. It takes all of us. And we just ask for your help. And I know we have it. I know all of you. And I know you guys care about our community. I know you care about us. So just please, whatever we can do, let's do it, because I don't want to see any more. I don't want to see any more deaths. I don't want to see any more parents have to live with this reality. So thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely. I'll almost tangentially, I have my phone sitting here, and the emails come in quite frequently. One of the first emails at the top of my phone right now is Narcan distribution and training.
Yes.
Yes.
So, we get these things, this comes across our desks quite frequently. In other counties have more direct control over the Drug and Alcohol Commission. The EDs are appointed by the commissioners. Our county, I'm sure you guys are probably better aware of this than I am. is an independent board, independent organization. Some money flows from our mental health agency to that, to the Drug and Alcohol Commission. But again, that's one of the reasons that we created that advisory board is we recognize that it's going to take a whole bunch of different people all sitting around the table to be able to solve the damn thing. You know, forever, and you see other counties transitioning to what's called a human services model. We're at the baby steps of that. We barely started crawling, much less walking in terms of our planning processes. But forever, systems have failed our populations because each system treats each individual as if they're part of a silo, right? So, for example, you've got an individual with mental health issues. Well, they're a mental health case now. You've got an individual with drug and alcohol issues. They're a drug and alcohol case now. Versus, you know, because of mental health issues, that person might bleed into the drug and alcohol system. It might bleed into the CYS system. They might bleed into our homelessness systems. And one of the things that we're working towards, in fact, we're probably going to be announcing here a program within the next 6 months or so. The capital outlay is being done right now. But for the first time, combining all of our human services agencies, the big three are mental health, drug and alcohol, and CYS. But to start treating people as opposed to components of the system. So we're moving in that direction in Lawrence County. It takes time, government's slow, but we certainly appreciate you guys stepping up and all the work that you do to try to fill some of those gaps that our systems currently see. But thank you for coming in. Thank you for your time. And like we said, you guys are, whenever we have that first advisory board meeting, you know, I fully expect and anticipate you guys to be there to present your case to that board. So looking forward to hearing it.
Thank you.
And that's good news, Commissioner, what you just said about bringing together, because we're talking this. These issues just are not in a silo.
Right.
Absolutely. Thank you. That's great news. Thank you again.
Thanks, guys. You're welcome to stick around for what I'm sure will be a invigorating public meeting where we're voting on about 150 repository properties.
If my wife hadn't given me some errands to run.
The honey-do list, good for her.
Yeah.
He doesn't do
You know, and I'm sorry, but she's top on the list there.
Well, we forgive you that.
Thank you again.
Thank you, guys. Great.
Good to see you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's somebody take the title from us for it.
Oh, the dedication is unbelievable.
All right, any additional public comment? Gary, come on up.
I guess I really have. Is the canvassing have to take place for the election when you have to finalize the vote?
I mean, we don't have Tim with us today. This isn't the election board. So I don't know the answer to that. Tim would have to walk across the hallway and ask Tim.
You're the Board of Elections also.
Right now, we're the Board of Commissioners, Gary.
Okay, so I guess then I'm gonna file a complaint about the Voter Services Office. I did want to address this at the meeting, but if you're not gonna talk about that, then my complaint is, yesterday I drove an Amish person down here to verify her provisional vote. And Mr. Germani told me and her and Ella that he wasn't even gonna deal with provisional votes until next week. And my understanding is that those need to be addressed within 7 days. That the voter who used a provisional ballot at the poll must come into the county within 7 days to verify that they were who they said they were. Initially, he said that we're not going to deal with them. Then he said she was supposed to call the number on the slip that she got, which is really, frankly, ridiculous. How does that verify a person just by a phone call? And it wasn't until I took out my phone to record what was happening that Mr. Germani turned around and went to his office, got her provisional ballot and said, oh, okay, easy peasy, we're settled here. So that's just unacceptable. And I wonder how many other provisional ballots are not going to be counted now if they weren't counted yesterday. They should be part of the count. So that's my complaint.
All right, thank you.
And I would like it recorded for the minutes, please.
On that note, we'll move on to, Pat, you have anything?
Only when I'm called for this.
Move on to fiscal contractual. We have a number of repository properties. I asked Vanessa this time around, as opposed to, we had some sprinkled and accepted, some sprinkled and rejected. This way, we'll just be able to go through, like for example, 1 to 13.
All of the accepted.
Exactly.
Okay, gotcha.
Exactly. So we'll number these resolutions. Vanessa, what's the first one
First
here?
one's gonna be 365.
365. Next one's gonna be, if there's any questions on any of them, I'm not gonna read all of them, we're just gonna take them all in a batch. But if there's any questions on any of them, please stop me as we go through the numbering process. So we have 365, 366, 367, 368, 369, 370, 371.
Wait a minute, I have a question.
Oh, which one do you got?
I have, I don't know which one it is, I lost track.
What's
It's
the,
Mahoney Township. It says 2 parcels, but there are no signatures.
Yeah, they,
probably neither one.
the township nor the school district replied.
Look on the back of, I'm on 369. If you look on the back of the resolution,
The next page, all right, I flipped over the back.
there you go. That tells you that
Township
neither,
nor the school.
Gotcha.
All right, so that's so we're on 371. This is Michael Lebinsky, bid of 658, just for clarity's
Okay,
sake.
thank you.
Yep, 372. $373.
bear with me a minute now.
Yes.
372 is the city of Newcastle,
Yes.
Audley Avenue, right?
Yes.
Okay,
And
thank you.
373 is going to be,
Also oddly, that's 2.
yes. 374 is Northview. Vanessa, please stop me when we hit the rejected.
Yep.
375 is Northview. 376 is Northview. 377 is Oak.
You can stop.
Thank you.
Okay,
Any questions or comments on resolutions 365 to 377? I'll note that all of these have been either approved or not acted upon by their respective taxing bodies and municipalities and school districts. And if there are none, I will take a motion to approve 365 through 377.
so moved.
Second,
Motion is second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none. Question on the motion, Vanessa, please call the roll.
Commissioner Spielvogel?
Yes,
Commissioner Vogler?
yes.
Commissioner Boyd?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Up next, the rejecteds. And I'll note that each of these has been rejected by one or more of their respective taxing bodies. 378, 379, 380, 381, 382, and that's it.
Okay.
I'll take a motion to approve these, and again, we'll vote, but however you want, but you're gonna vote these down. And,
are
that's
we
the process.
going to generally vote down all of them and then make the motion and then vote?
I was gonna make the motion to
Yes,
approve,
like
and
the
everybody
usual
votes no.
process, just
Yeah.
as all of them tackled together. Okay,
Motion approved.
so moved.
Second,
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Question on the motion. Vanessa, please call the roll.
Commissioner Spielvogel?
No,
Commissioner Vogler?
no.
Commissioner Boyd?
No.
Motion fails.
Thank you. It has been rejected. Up next. No advertising bids or proposals, no receipt of bids or proposals. We do have warrant registers. I know that we didn't meet last week
mhm,
as the Board of Commissioners, and so to that end, we don't have,
right.
we have an extra week's worth of warrant registers to approve. We have from the 10th, the 9th, the 7th, and October 31st. I'll give my colleagues a minute to check those over. Take a motion to accept the warrant registers or not.
So moved.
A little bit faster than me today, Loretta.
Well, several of them are the usual, foster
Right.
payments.
Right. Okay, I will second.
Motion is second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, question on the motion. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 All opposed, same sign, motion carries. Up next, we have the minutes from November 1. And again, I'll give my colleagues a minute to check those over and take a motion to accept the file.
I have to add a little comment. I still think of the last meeting that we had when I said to Vanessa, I think you made a mistake, you missed a week. And now it's hard to believe that not only was it November 1st when we had our meeting, but we're halfway through.
Year's coming to a close.
Oh, right? Quickly. So moved.
Second.
Motion is second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, question on the motion. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign, motion carries. We have one written communications today from Jen On for the Newcastle Generating Station, Newcastle Power, it's the power plant West Pittsburgh. Official notification, Lawrence County Board of Commissioners that Newcastle Power LLC is renewing its facility-wide air quality Title V operating permit to continue operating Newcastle Generating Station located in Taylor Township, Lawrence County. So, if there's any questions, comments on that, I'll take a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign, motion carries. Staff reports. We have a member of staff here that we can report above and beyond what's already on the agenda. Seeing none, commissioner reports and comments. Looks like I'm on deck first today. Still working our way through the budget. Hopefully, we'll be able to get that done by the time this board reconvenes 2 weeks from now. But it's going to be a rough one. I can say that definitively. It's going to be a rough one. So we'll have to see where we can clear back. Dan?
I have nothing today, thank you.
Loretta?
I just wanted to, two things. The parade went very well on Saturday, the Veterans Day Parade, very, very well attended as far as the floats, bands, cheerleaders, dance lines, Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, everybody was represented. It was a very, very well done event and well attended. Also, I did not know that our friends were coming here today to speak of the Just One program that they are doing through Vision Ministries. I am on the board of our local single county authority, the Drug and Alcohol Organization. And we were asked to do if we would be willing to do a Narcan distribution. And we, of course, readily agreed to that because, again, I know we're all here in this room most definitely aware of the situation we find ourselves in and want to do everything that we can as a board, as residents, as concerned members of our community. We are having a Narcan distribution. I don't know if you get to see it here, but it'll be on the website. It is Thursday from 9 to 12. We have posted throughout our building the different notices. It will be on our second floor next to the mailroom. I think we need to do that, get rid of the stigma of picking a case of it, a container up, because you never know when you will be placed in that situation. You may be able to help a neighbor. You may be somewhere that if it is in your vehicle that you will be able to assist somebody with it. It's here, it's everywhere, let's acknowledge it. Let's get rid of the stigma and do everything that we can to keep people from dying. Thank you.
Thank you. Up next, we're moving on to our new resolutions portion. First on deck, we have Pat Micco, Director of JPO, for a resolution 383 on the submission of our annual grant and aid contract for $158,104. Pat, how you doing today?
Good, how you guys?
Good.
For once I'm not asking for money, I'm coming and telling you I'm bringing money in, so that's a good sign.
We always like those.
This is the annual juvenile probation services grant. Vanessa reminded us, we were out of I think it was a 5-year agreement we had with a resolution. We need to put another resolution to be able to submit the grant application in. So one was drafted, we have one ready. And, the grant aid is $158,104. And, I can sit there and read you a page after page, I'm not going to, I think. Commissioner Vogler's been around, he's heard that multiple times. It's basically to offset, salaries, benefits, things like that for juvenile probation officers in the department, as well as any training or any new extensions of programs we have. Not covered under Act 148. So I'm losing my voice, which might not be a bad thing for some people. So, but that's pretty much it. Again, there's standards and conditions. We have to comply by them. We're audited every year to make sure that we're hitting those. And we have yet to have a problem. So everything's already on task. We've already been approved. The 2022-23 allotment begins. It actually began July 1st of this year. Hopefully we get it by the end of the year, so it can, unless they credited last year's on this year's, I'm not sure, I have to check the budget. If we got last year's on this year, then we want to wait until January to put it on, but as a revenue, so. That's it.
All right, thank you. Appreciate it. I'll take a motion.
So moved.
Second?
A motion is second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Question on the motion. Vanessa, please call the roll.
Commissioner Spielvogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyd?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
See how easy that is? When we're getting money, it's nice and easy.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Scott.
Good morning, thank you.
Up next, 384. This is just our Wallace Road Bridge has been under PHMC limbo for the past. It's been before the board got sworn in. So we finally, I think, come to a conclusion between our engineers and PennDOT and PHMC and us to allow them to alter the design of that bridge where it still fits the history and uniqueness of the bridge, but whereby it doesn't cost $3 million to get it back up to what it used to be. So any questions on that, any comments?
Well, it's interesting that they ask us, PennDOT asks us for affirmation that we will own and maintain the bridge. We've been doing that since the late 1800s when the bridge was first built. So obviously we will continue to do so. I would ask, though, that for the purposes of specific record keeping, if we could add somewhere in this resolution, maybe under the first whereas, perhaps after where it says Wallace Road Bridge, maybe in parentheses, put Little Beaver Township so that we know precisely what municipality this bridge is located in. That's the only thing I would request. Otherwise, it's nice to see we are moving forward.
Vanessa, can you take care of that on the admin side?
I might add that Bill Humphrey indicated to me, right now there's a 14-ton weight limit on that bridge. He's saying with the new construction, there will be no weight limit
Oh, wow.
on that bridge. So that's
Very
good.
Excellent, yes.
Thank you.
Absolutely. We'll take a motion. 384.
So moved.
Second.
The motion is second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Question on the motion. Vanessa, please call the roll.
Commissioner Spielvogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyd?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Up next, we have the appointment of Anna Berensfeld to the Workforce Investment Board. Board of Commissioners appoints half the members of this board. Mercer appoints the other half because we're part of the same Workforce Development District. And Anna Berensfeld will be representing the business sector for the next term here through the end of 2024. An expired term of Dave Pine Tech from Pyrotechnica. She's filling his spot. Questions, comments on that? I'll note that Anna works for the Yellow Group. And on that note, I'll take a motion from 85.
So moved.
Second.
Motion second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Question on the motion. Vanessa, please call the roll.
Commissioner Spielvogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyd?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Up next, the budget amendment / transfer portion of the agenda. It's getting bigger and bigger as we get closer to the end of the year. First in deck, we have a transfer of $150,000 from, it's not exactly a transfer, but it effectuates it allows a transfer to happen from our demolition fund, the county's demolition fund account to the redevelopment authority's demolition fund account. This is just adjusting our budget to allow those dollars to be dispersed. Questions on that?
No.
386, I'll take a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Motion second, any further discussion? Hearing none, question on the motion. Vanessa, please call the roll.
Commissioner Spielvogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyd,
Yes.
motion carries.
Thank you. 387, just transferring some money from our community development line item to Russo Maintenance and Repairs to give them through the end of the year. Take a motion on that.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Question on the motion. Vanessa, please call the roll.
Commissioner Spielvogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyd?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Moving some money from our community redevelopment fund to essential services, land building rental, and proprietary land building rental to cover some mine expenses. Take a motion on that. 388.
So moved.
Second.
Motion second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Question on the motion. Vanessa, please call the roll.
Commissioner Spielvogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyd?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. 389, moving some money from community redevelopment to commissioners, major equipment. Our coffee machine's busted. We're buying a new one. I'll take a motion on 389.
So moved.
Second.
Motion second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Question on the motion. Vanessa, please call the roll.
Commissioner Spielvogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyd?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Moving some money from common redevelopment to association dues. I thought I budgeted for that, but I guess we might have done some more associations this year than we have in past years, or maybe some dues went up. Moving some money to fund our NACO dues, National Association of County dues. That'd be 390. Questions, comments on that?
Just, that figure is 1,822,
Yes.
am I right?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Somebody tried to
Open the door.
go through the wrong door.
That's what we have sheriffs for.
And he's here.
All right, do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second. Motion second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Question on the motion. Vanessa, please call the roll.
Commissioner Spielvogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyd?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. 391, moving some money from community redevelopment to black fly control. Again, I thought we budgeted for this, but in fact, I know we budgeted for this, but I guess maybe when everything got sorted out, it didn't go in the right thing. So I'll take a motion on that.
So moved.
Second.
Motion second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Question on the motion. Vanessa, please call the roll.
Commissioner Spielvogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyd?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Community redevelopment to liability insurance. This is going to cover the increased cost of our liability insurance. When I got the numbers last year from Mr. Saladay, I guess they must have been off by not an insignificant amount. So we're transferring some money over to cover our, make sure that if someone slips and falls outside, our liability insurance covers the cost. So I'll take a motion on 392.
So moved.
Second.
Motion second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Question on the motion. Vanessa, please call the roll.
Commissioner Spielvogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyd?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Administrative transfers, $4,500 from contract consultants to minor equipment at the tax claim office to buy a safe. Prothonotary, $1,500 from their contingency to their materials and supplies. So next time Jody submits one of these, you make sure she submits the account names with it, because sometimes I'm not gonna know what the numbers are.
I put it on the agenda for you, but I'll tell him.
Okay, I see, I didn't see it on the, I was looking at the, but yeah. And let's make sure we get a better description of the line item short. Planning, some contingency, some of their contingency, travel and training. As COVID goes down, conferences and in-person events go up. DA's office, Josh is just moving some money around to cover some miscellaneous overages in some of his accounts. Adult probation, moving some money from their contingency to travel and training, get the same thing as planning. MHDS, moving some money from their contingency to cover some increased electric costs. Coroner, moving some money from his contingency to cover some increased software costs. Children and Youth Services, moving some foster care payments to JPO Institutional Purchase Service Agencies. JPO Institutional will cover some institutional invoices. Assessment, again, some more travel and training. Alan's going to the ESRI conference. I guess we've taken that out of assessment. But moving $1,000 from their contingency to travel and training. And that is our admin transfers. Any questions on those?
No, not here.
Okay, I will take a motion to approve the admin transfers.
So moved.
Second. Motion is second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Question on the motion. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 All opposed? Same sign. Hearing no opposition, passes. No ordinance is on the table for introduction for final action. There will not be a commissioner meeting next week, as we will all be in Harrisburg at CCAP. There will be a prison board meeting.
There will not be.
Oh, good.
Yes, I checked with the warden, and since he's gotten everything on his wish list, he's quite content, and
They should be.
Yes. Things are moving along, but the usual, I don't wanna paint it as a perfect picture, but the individual things that happen and go on are certainly things that he can handle. We have nothing extraordinary happening that we would need to have a meeting. So it's good to know that things are running well, and
Maybe next year we trim those down to quarterlies.
I think that's a good idea. We could always call an emergency if would need be, but I think that is a very good idea. Okay.
Okay, there will not be a prison board meeting on November 16th, which is a good thing, 'cause I'm gonna be in Penn State tomorrow. Courthouse was closed. We will be closed on Thursday, November 24th, and Friday, November 25th, in observance of Thanksgiving. And again, the next commissioners meeting will be Tuesday, November 29th, 2022, at 10 a.m.
There's November.
In the commissioner meeting, yeah, it's getting busy.
Yes.
Get that budget done. Public comments, any additional public comment this time?
I do.
Absolutely. Would you be able to approach the bench?
I can approach it now. Amy Lamb, Newcastle. I just happened to be in the building and I like to come to meetings. I just wanted to say, I think I told them, I had to change my name on my deed just from Kesha Bear to Lamb. It has cost me $300. Plus, I have to reapply for a Homestead Act. And I'm the same person that's lived there for 46 years. I don't think the commissioners had anything to do with that. I just think that's ridiculous to have to do all that. Because I'm the same person that paid all those taxes that year. And then I have one more comment, and it's not gossip. In our churches, we always say church and state do not mix, should not cross through there. And the election is all over. And on Saturday night at one of our masses for Holy Spirit Parish, I won't say any more about who or anything, but the priest started to talk about our morals and our faith, and a couple got up and left because they thought it was a political homily. And I thought, how ridiculous. And so, because the election is over. So these people who were prominent people are carrying this election over into Mass, where before the election, they said church and state they're supposed to be separated. So I thought that was actually just ignorant. So that's all.
Thank you.
And you're right, we don't have control over those costs, going back to your deed, and a lot of the rules and regulations, it's unfortunate that maybe people may try to manipulate the system. You are an honest person, so you go in and do what you need to do. There may be situations that doesn't happen, but we're bound by the rules and regulations that we're told.
Well, I'm just glad I did it.
Yes,
Because,
yes.
if I died and it went to someone else, they would have a hard time doing all that. So I'm glad I did it. But anyway, just a couple comments I found interesting in our government. Thank you.
Thank you much.
Anything additional?
I have just one comment, just to remind the board that all special meetings, the advertisement for which has to be approved at a public meeting before the special meeting,
We will follow the law as advised by the Lawrence County Solicitor.
the law.
As advised by the Lawrence County Solicitor, who is an attorney. And on that note, I will adjourn the Lawrence County Board of Commissioners.
Thank you. Good meeting.
All right, we've got your
Thank
file.
you.
Yes.
Debbie asked if you could say your packet before she's upstairs in that trial.
Sure.